Hi, my name is Sara Pollack, and I'm an entertainment marketing manager at YouTube in San Bruno, California. And I'm making this video at the request of the Netherlands Film Festival. They've sent me a bunch of questions that they'd like me to answer, and I will do that, and hopefully this will be useful to those of you who are aspiring filmmakers considering getting involved in the digital landscape. The first question the festival asked me is, why did I transition from working in the traditional film industry into the digital film industry? For me, I spent about 5 years living in New York and working in independent film production and finance, both at Miramax as well as at a couple small production companies, one of which made Little Miss Sunshine a few years ago. And working on Little Miss Sunshine was an incredible experience that I would never give up. But at the end of the day, I felt like there was going to be more room for growth and to try new and different things in the world of digital media. And so shortly after Google acquired YouTube, I thought, with Google behind it, YouTube has got to be the future for entertainment, and that's where I want to be. So that's why I came here about 3 years ago, started working with filmmakers, trying to build the film community on YouTube, trying to surface some of the best film content on the site, and that slowly evolved into working more on our marketing strategies and new business development related to the entertainment field. So that's what I do now. The next question the festival wanted me to answer is, what are my thoughts about the internet, and YouTube in particular, as a way of distributing videos and reaching an audience? Well, I think that in a lot of ways, YouTube in particular has made it much easier for filmmakers to connect with audiences around the world without having to rely on distributors or studios or gatekeepers of any kind to say whether or not their film is worth being distributed and worth being pushed to an audience. So now you have filmmakers all over the world who are able to pretty easily put a film online and start marketing it to an audience regardless of who says they can or cannot. There are a number of examples of films coming onto our platform over the past few years, starting really with Four-Eyed Monsters I think that was back in 2007. The film was then seen by 1 million people around the world, and that went on to a DVD deal and a TV deal for the filmmakers. More recently, you've seen filmmakers like Luc Besson put the documentary Home on YouTube. The film, I think, received over 5 million views around the world. So you've got filmmakers both big and small finding new ways to connect with audiences directly, and web video has made that incredibly easy to. The next two questions are fairly similar. I'm going to answer them both at once. The first is, do I think that any film can be an online success, or are there rules to follow to make a good film for the internet? And the second question is, do I have any tips and tricks for filmmakers trying to find an audience, or is simply putting a film online enough? So in the first case, I would say I don't believe that there's any particular genre that exclusively works online. We've seen comedies obviously work online, but we've also seen very serious documentaries work online. We've seen some indie dramas do very well. For example, Wayne Wang's The Princess of Nebraska, which played in the YouTube screening room, which is a special area of the site for film festival films. And that's a foreign language film. So we've really seen a broad spectrum of success on the site. I do happen to think that documentaries sometimes can be easier simply because you often have a targeted audience, maybe a niche audience that as a filmmaker you can really tap into and mobilize. But that said, we've seen, again, all types of films do well. So I don't think there's one genre that's going to succeed more than others. That said, I do think that pacing is very important when you're talking about distributing films online. People have increasingly short attention spans, whether they're watching video on the internet or whether they're watching TV at home and flipping through commercials. So I think it's more important than ever that you tell the story that you want to tell as quickly and concisely as possible. And that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the narrative or sacrifice long shots, but it does mean that you have to be thinking, how do I keep my audience engaged and focused on the work that I want them to see? Second, in terms of finding an audience online, I think it's very important that filmmakers understand that putting a film online is simply not enough to garner an audience. So When you have a film in a theater, you would never expect that if you just put a film in a theater and didn't advertise, didn't market the film, that people walking by would simply decide to watch, to spend $10 on a movie ticket, sit down in the theater and watch. We all know that movies that are released in theaters usually have a tremendous amount of advertising and marketing dollars behind them, whether that's placing ads in local newspapers or online or running trailers on television. You have to create demand for an audience. Online is no different. It costs a lot less money to market a film online. It doesn't require commercials on TV. It doesn't require ads in local newspapers, but it does require a very motivated filmmaker who's willing to create videos to go with his or her film to start building an audience, creating maybe multiple versions of trailers, connecting with potential fans on Facebook, on Twitter, on different social media platforms, on collecting the email addresses of everyone who she thinks might be a fan of the film, and then becoming, friends with them and encouraging them to watch and encouraging them to spread the film to other people. So it does take a lot of work to ensure that you're creating demand for your film online and driving people to watch it. One thing that Google and YouTube offer that's really interesting is something called Insight. And this means if you're on YouTube and you go into your account, next to any of your videos, you can see Insight for that video. And what Insight will allow you to do is see who's watching your film. Are they men or women? Are they 18 years old or are they 42 years old? Where are they coming from? Are they all based in the Netherlands, or do you have fans in France and Germany and the US and Australia? Where in the video are they most engaged? So you can actually see where in your film or where in your trailer the most people are clicking away and leaving the viewing experience. All of these metrics are meant to help you understand who your audience is and how you best reach them. And it's critical that filmmakers who put their work online use these tools to better understand how to find their audiences, because ultimately that is how their work is going to be most successful. So that's it for me. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you all have a wonderful festival. Thanks. Bye.